Any day where Keeneland is racing is a happy one. Welcome back to the show. This is Keeneland at Home, and I am your host, Christina Blacker. We are off and running for week 3 of racing here at the fall meet, and we're about halfway through. The time is absolutely flying, but I hope that you have been enjoying that great racing from Keeneland. We are brought to you by UK HealthCare, as usual, ranked the #1 hospital in Kentucky for 5 years in a row. Be sure to use the hashtag if you are watching the program with us here, hashtag Keeneland at Home. Share this with your friends. Let them know that we're kind of teeing you up for the racing here today. I have some great stories to share with you and a good preview of the races ahead with Ellis Starr as well. Let's take a look at what's coming up as far as the racing goes. So we have a 10-race program again today. First post, as per usual, is 1:05 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a little chilly out there, but we should have some sunshine. And today's feature is the Pin Oak Valley View. It's a Grade 3 event, and it goes off at 4:57 Eastern. So you certainly won't want to miss that one or any of the other supporting races this afternoon. We know that many of you have been hosting some Keeneland watch parties at home, and we thank you for that, and we encourage you to keep them going. You can always get those kits, the Keeneland kits, via the gift shop. Today, I've asked local blogger Leela Atchison to help me out. She can be found on Instagram at Lex Eats. She has all sorts of tips and tricks for you if you're cooking or if you're hosting a party with some of your very close friends at home. She welcomed us into her own home, actually, and shared her menu for a watch party and a specialty cocktail courtesy of the Bluegrass Hospitality Group.
Hi race fans, my name is Leela. I run a local food and lifestyle blog called Lex Eats. I'm excited to welcome y'all into my home today for my Keeneland at Home watch party. So if you visit my blog, you'll find a lot of recipes, and while I love to cook, I also love when someone else cooks for me. So when I'm doing a big spread like this for a party or get together, I typically never make everything myself. So today I've picked a few of my favorites from Bluegrass Hospitality Group's large pan catering menu. I've got mini cheeseburgers like you find at Harry's and Drake's, mac and cheese, everyone's favorite, got some fried chicken bites, we've got that famous BHG ranch, but a little pro tip, my favorite is the honey mustard. And then you have to try these sea salt chocolate chip cookies. They're a chewy chocolate chip cookie dipped in more chocolate and then covered with a little sea salt. So to make things feel a little more like we're at the races, I picked up some items from the Keeneland shop for my decor. So I've got fresh flowers that I stuck these cute little Keeneland flags in those. Don't you love those? I also put some of these in my front yard. We've got plates and dishware that have jockey and horse motifs on them. I've got this Keeneland jockey silk on the table, and then I love these Cat Studio custom Keeneland glasses. Speaking of the glasses, I think it's time we put something in them. Okay, so we're going to make the basic. It's a craft cocktail available at Malone's. I've got a shaker tin with ice. I'm going to add 2 ounces of vodka. You could also do soda if you wanted to make this a mocktail. I'm gonna do 1 ounce of lemon juice, half an ounce of Demerara syrup, we'll add 4 blackberries to the tin, and then give it a good shake. All right, y'all, I am not a professional bartender, so check out these skills. We'll strain this over a glass of ice. You see you've got nice fresh blackberry in there. Such a pretty color. And then garnish with a fresh blackberry. Cheers! Thanks y'all so much for joining me. Again, my name is Leela. I blog at lexeats.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook at lexeats, L-E-X-E-A-T-S. You can check out the Bluegrass Hospitality Group catering menu at bluegrasshospitality.com, and then all of these items from the Keeneland gift shop at keenelandshop.com.
Off the lead, Alice Springs is going to try to find an opening down toward the inside in 4th. Thrilled is 5th. Harmonize is in 6th in between horses off the turn. Sapphire Kitten comes forward. Alice Springs need room. Catch a Glimpse has the lead. Ruby Notion drops back. Catch a Glimpse leading it. And Sapphire Kitten trying. Alice Springs trying. Nemeralia running late from far back. Catch a Glimpse with the lead. Nemeralia runs on from the outside. Catch a Glimpse, the leader. Catch a Glimpse, the winner for Florent Giroux. Close for second, maybe Alice Springs. If not her, it'll be Nemeralia for that runner-up spot in 1 minute, 39 seconds.
That was a look at the 2015 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf at Keeneland with Catch a Glimpse for trainer Mark Cassey, who is a new Hall of Fame member as of this past year. She was so exciting to watch, always kind of played that catch me if you can game on the front end. And she would go on to be a 7-time graded stakes winner and also a champion in Canada. Certainly a future star, and that is what we have to look forward to with those juveniles on Future Stars Friday. Guys, it's Friday today. We are 3 weeks away from the Breeders' Cup. That's 21 days from the championships that will be held November the 6th and the 7th at Keeneland. My colleague Scott Hazelton had a chance to catch up with jockey Florent Giroux. He reflected on that win with Catch a Glimpse that you just saw, and also gave us a preview of his 2020 Breeders' Cup mounts.
It's a pleasure to be joined by Florent Giroux, who's been a regular top rider here in the bluegrass of Kentucky for many years. And Florent, I want to take you back to 2015, the Breeders' Cup here, the first time the Breeders' Cup came to Lexington at Keeneland Racecourse. What were some of your top memories of that weekend?
Of course, winning 2 Breeders' Cup, during the weekend was great. It was beginning of my career. When I started, doing really good, and that was a nice way to kick off, the first Breeders' Cup here ever at Keeneland.
Talking about those victories, Catch a Glimpse. We'll start there. What was she like during that season, and especially culminating here in the Breeders' Cup?
Well, actually, if I remember, she was one of the choices, of the race. She just won the Natalma pretty easily. With me on, and speed figure, came back really fast. So we thought we had a legit chance, but we didn't know about, some of the nice, European horses, and also some of the other fillies she didn't face. But we were pretty confident before the race, and we got the job done. And that was the first Breeders' Cup for Mark Cassey. So it was great for him. And after that, he had plenty more, so it was great.
And I think one of the lasting memories and the lasting scenes and visuals and great celebrations of that entire weekend was with Mongolian Saturday for Mongolian Stable, and you aboard Mongolian Saturday in the Breeders' Cup Turf Spirit. What was it like to be part of that victory, first of all, and then ultimately the celebration with Enebish Gambat and Mongolian Stable?
It was amazing, especially for those people. They came all the way, from Mongolia, to see the horse run. The horse was a little bit of a long shot, so coming all the way there and winning the race, it was very rewarding, for the all crew, all the connections. And it was a special horse too, and we went to, after this race, we went to many trips, while Ascot and also Hong Kong. So it was great, it took me everywhere, and I'm very thankful, for the opportunity all the connection gave me.
Well, speaking of a horse that's taken you to a lot of fantastic places and quite a journey, that's Monomoy Girl, part of your opportunity this year in 2020 as the Breeders' Cup comes back. What are your expectations as she'll tackle the distaff coming up on that Breeders' Cup Saturday?
Big expectation, I expect her to win. I think she's been the leader of our division, for a little while now. She was top 3 all fillies. Unfortunately, she missed all 2019, and now we see her back again at the top of her form 2020. So very exceptional, and 18 months layoff, came back, and she won, her first race back at Churchill. After that, we went slowly, and our campaign has been based, on try to progress, slowly getting her back to the top level. And recently, she just won the Grade 1 Latch Ryan at Churchill, and we're excited. And she's won here, the Grade 1 Ashland, so we know she likes the track, and we are very excited now.
How important has she been to you and your family and your career?
Oh, it means a lot, like you said, not only for myself, for my families, the fans, and also the connections, when you have a horse like this, feel like this, really, he's the leader of the divisions. Everyone are watching, not only, the other, opponent in the race, but the whole country, the fans, other trainers, because those kind of horses doesn't come very often. So even if you are racing against them in the race, you kind of want them to win because, it's like true champions like this doesn't come very often.
It'll be a great pleasure to see you be legged up on her back here at Tom Breeders' Cup Distaff. We wish you the best, and it's great to have you as part of this outstanding colony of riders here at Keeneland Raceway.
Well, thanks a lot, Scott.
Scott, thank you very much. And to Florent Giroux, good luck in this year's Breeders' Cup. I'm sure he will have a good edition of the championships as per usual. Okay, it's time to pick some winners for today. And joining me as per usual is Ellis Starr, the Ubercapper. Ellis, you had a great day for us on Sunday, so we thank you for that. Can you let me know where your confidence level is, though, as far as the picks for today?
I'm pretty excited today. I mean, Sunday was okay. I finally got back 3 winners in 3 races, 1 top pick, and then that weird thing where we ran 1-2 in the last, and the horse that ran second got declared a non-starter. So we kind of got disqualified, as it were, out of an exacta, which happens sometimes, but the 7-1 winner. But I'm really excited about today. The weather's great. It's cool. The horses are going to love it. And I love the 3 races we're going to talk about, Christina.
All right, well, let's get some racing luck to go along with those picks for today. Ellis, I kind of want to start later in the program because I think the late pick 4 is really strong. That's where we find our feature on the card today. Let's go to race 7, Allowance Company, non-winners of 2, 5.5 furlongs on the turf course. And I really think the talent is towards the outside of this group. Can you start with Competitive Saint and just tell me, this gelding was so consistent. What happened in that last race?
Sometimes when you see a race like this, that's a complete aberration, you just draw a line through it. And I think that's what I'm going to do with Competitive Saint. His first 3 races were so good with 2 wins in the second, and he's going to get a hot pace here. There are 4 horses in this race. Never Have I Ever, I think, Grandal, High Crime, Explorer. It only takes 3 of the 4, 2 of the 4 to go battling fast, and sitting on the outside is great for a horse in a turf sprint like this. He made up 7 lengths when he was second, one before last, in a tough race at Saratoga in that stakes race, the Mahoney. I think he can do that again and again. Just draw a line through the last one. I like everything about Competitive Saint here as the top pick, but it's a very deep race, and I think we make some money.
Just to his inside is another gelding that looks like he has a big chance. Also 7-2 on the morning line. Artemis City Limits is the number 10. He's lightly raced, but very, very consistent. Do you expect another big effort today?
Absolutely. You can get a bounce back off of him off a 3rd place finish in a stake at Woodbine. Before that, he closed into a 44-second and change pace. And again, we're talking about a hot pace here. It was his 3rd straight race. 3rd straight good race. Actually, 4th straight good race, I should say. First, third. So he's really done nothing wrong. And he's dropping in class a little bit from stakes. So you can expect him to run competitively here.
We have a legend of a trainer in this race, all the way down to the rail. Take me to the 1 horse, Shackelford's Joy, for the coach, D. Wayne Lucas. This horse was a winner last time out. Can he repeat that effort?
He absolutely, I think he can run very big here. He rallied from 8th. And again, I'm looking for a pace just to kind of melt down with a hot pace. It was his 3rd straight A race, I call it, 14-1. He's still 8-1 here. So people still think that was a fluke, and I don't.
So let's move on to race number 8 on the program. We'll go right to the next one. This is a high-level allowance. I mean, you don't see these very often at all. Can you tell me first, just Ellis, about this condition? Because I don't know the last time I saw non-winners of 4.
No, this is really interesting. This is called non-winners of 4X, or 4 other than. It means non-winners of 4 races other than the maiden they're claiming. These are horses that run in stakes, and then they're waiting for a stakes kind of race to come up that they have the race for, but the racing secretary writes a race, because a lot of trainers go to the secretary and say, write a race, my horse needs to run. He can't just keep working out. And that's where you have this field. And certainly that's where you get it. You also have a $150,000 optional claiming price, which we'll talk about with Cool Arrow, which is a horse that's already won at the condition, which otherwise wouldn't be eligible. It's very unusual. It's not impossible to see a horse claim for such a hefty price, but it's unusual. And that gives a horse a chance to run at the level and stay in condition through racing that they otherwise would just be working out.
Can you expand on Cool Arrow's chances? Because this is the type of horse that anybody would love to have in the barn. He's a 10-time winner from 26 starts.
Yeah, really, really good. If you take away a couple obviously on other surfaces, 10 for 24 on dirt. And he won the grade 3 smile stakes. So as I was talking about, this is the kind of race level that horses in stakes run at in between stakes. And he won the grade 3 smile. So technically it's a drop in class. He's beaten the condition. So he's in for 150,000. I kind of used the analogy the other day. You know, your parents probably said, you can't have that cake and eat it too. You can't eat that cake and have it too. I say it backwards sometimes. So, but he's doing that. He's won at this level. He's won a stake, and he's still eligible as long as he's willing for the condition. He's a very fast horse. His last race earned a 111 equibase speed figure, and it does make him the one to beat, Christina.
There's another runner in there at a bit of a price in 7 Nation Army that I know you're intrigued by. This is the number 4 horse. Julien Leparoux will be aboard. You know, he's a horse that has popped with some really big career bests in the past. And to me, he looks like he might be on the way up again in terms of one of those peak efforts.
Well, 2 big races in a row, a win, one before last and a second. And I was really surprised to see 12-1 morning line, but I'll certainly take it. This is a horse that's been first or second in 10 of 21 races. He's earned close to $250,000. And Julien Leparoux rode him so well one race before last at Ellis Park. And I think he's got a big shot here at a price.
So how do you play that race, Ellis? Are you going to just box those two together since you have the price and you have kind of the horse to beat?
No, I think because you have a favorite and a long shot, I think you can take a little play. We call it a part wheel or a key, and we'll play the 1 and the 4 Cool Arrow and 7 Nation Army over the 1, the 2, the 4, and the 6. We're throwing in Honest Mischief and Admiral Lynch. Those are both favorites. So what you're hoping, of course, is that 7 Nation Army comes in first or second and not the 2 favorites. But still, it's a very easy play in a shorter field. It's a $6 bet for $1. You might break even if the 2 favorites run 1-2. But if 7 Nation Army gets in there, you're going to make 3 or 4 times the investment.
Let's move ahead to the feature on the program. Race number 9 is the Pin Oak Valley View. We have a wonderful feature story coming up later on in the show for you today on Josephine Abercrombie. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But Ellis, I want to start with just your top pick in here because I think there are a lot of different directions to go. Who do you put as the number 1 play in the Valley View today?
I'm going to give number 11 Stunning Sky slight preference because she ran 4th in the Dueling Ground Oaks and 2nd in 2 higher level races before that. What's special is the Oaks turned out to be a key race. A key race is a race we call productive. Something about the race made it so other horses have run really well coming back. And again, she ran 4th, and the 1, 2, and 3 finishers all ran big in that race. Harvey's Little Goyle, Micheline ran 1-2 last weekend, and Luck Money won her next start. So that's a key. And with those 2 big races before that at Saratoga in the Lake Placid, Saratoga Oaks, Stunning Sky does look like the fastest horse in the race. Of course, with turf, there's always traffic to consider.
Horse to beat, it sounds like. And there, farther to the inside, Ellis, the 4 is one that I just can't get a line on myself. Walk in Marrakesh, you know, she's really consistent. She looks like she tries hard every time, but she hasn't actually won here in the States. What's it going to take for her to win?
Well, a little racing luck. You know, she's been well regarded. She's never been more than 7-1 in any U.S. race, and she almost won the Florida Oaks in her U.S. debut, beaten ahead. And then 3 races later, the Appalachian, which was here at Keeneland, pretty much the equivalent of the Valley View. It's a 3-year-old stake on the grass. And again, she lost by a nose, and she actually led late in that race. I think if she can repeat that race, she can give Stunning Sky a lot of grief here and be there and maybe even post a mild upset. I love the fact she's 10-1 in the morning line. We're looking for profit in a race. That's what you look for, a horse that fits the level, that's run well over the track, and that is decent odds.
I talk about Brian Hernandez Jr. on TVG all the time. I think he's one of the most underrated riders in the country. He's great at saving ground. He'll give your horse a good trip, and he is going to be aboard the 4 today. Are there any others in the Valley View that are worth mentioning, Ellis? Any other prices you're intrigued by?
Well, right outside of Walk in Marrakesh is the 5 Wittez. I hope I'm saying that right. Consistent, first or second, 5 of 10 on the turf, and rallied from far back to get second to the Jessamine. Then we're looking again. That was last fall. It was a year and a week ago, and that was for 2-year-olds on the grass. But a good race over the Keeneland course is always important with the short meets. Run back to that race, gets Leparoux, has a big late kick, and did win one before last at Saratoga. Was only beaten 3/4 of a length when 3rd in Lake George at Saratoga. So Wittez has good recent form, and there's every reason to believe she could be competitive again.
All right, Ellis, how do we play the Valley View? Last question of the day.
In this case, I like a 3-horse box of 11 Stunning Sky, 4 Walk in Marrakesh, and 5 Wittez. $6 bet for $1. I'd probably pay it for $2, $12 exacta box. And it's going to pay decent because there's no big favorite in the race.
Love to hear it. Good luck this afternoon. And as always, Ellis, thanks for the selections. Let's keep that good momentum going from last week.
I hope I'm excited. I hope they run to my expectations today, Christina.
There are so many ways to choose a winner, and certainly at Keeneland, whatever your method is, we support you. We hope you're playing the ponies, making a bit of money, and just enjoying this great game. As usual, our betologists are with us on the show today. Rachel rejoins us to help you choose how to pick your next winner.
Hello, my name is Greg Burke. I'm a betologist here at Keeneland, and I am here today to answer some of your questions from social media. So one of the most important questions that we get from just about everybody is, when I'm looking at the program, which by the way on KeenelandAtHome.com are free right now during this meet. One of the things that people ask is, what do I need to look for in the program to help me decide which horse to bet on? Personally, my favorite column in the program to look at is the column that tells you where the horse placed in each one of its most recent races. I'm a momentum guy. I like a horse that's on a consistent basis, hitting the board, coming in first, second, or third. That is where I like to start with in my handicapping. I also like to look at where that track is that they ran that race and the other horses that were in that race that they were racing against. There's any number of different things that you can look at in the program. It's just depends on what you find valuable, but that's just a couple of the things that I find valuable. So a frequently asked question that we get is, how do I decide how much money to bet, what type of bet to make, and on what horse do I make it on? So basically we tell people to decide what their feelings are with regards to their risk reward. How do you feel about putting a lot of money on a favorite versus putting a little bit of money on a long shot? Those are things that you have to decide, but the bottom line is, make your bet, go out to the track, or sit at your house and watch it on the computer and just root your horse home. So one of the questions we get asked while we're working here at Keeneland is, how do I find out how much a bet is actually going to cost me? So there is a number of different ways that you can figure that out. So basically, if you're at the track, you can go to one of the self-serve machines and use one of what's called the bet simulator. You can actually go to the teller and ask them how much it's going to cost. Or on your phone, through your Keeneland Select app, there's also a bet simulator on there, and you can put in all the parameters for your bet, and the simulator will tell you how much it will cost.
Today marks the 16th running of the Pin Oak Valley View. And as we look forward to today's feature on the program, we want to tell you a little bit more about Pin Oak. They have been recognized by TOBA as Breeders of the Year and the Breeders of Classic Winners and Champion Thoroughbreds. You can find Broken Vow and Maria's Mon standing stud there as well. The horsewoman behind Pin Oak is pretty extraordinary. At 94 years young, she is still actively involved in the farm and has made a dramatic impact on the local community. Let's learn more about Josephine Abercrombie.
Josephine's love affair with horses started early on her father's cattle ranches in Texas. J.S. Abercrombie instilled a competitiveness in his only child, partly through her show horse career that began at age 6 at the newly established Pin Oak Stable, the name a recognition of his favorite tree.
My father had a ranch out from San Antonio. We'd go out there to spend weekends and stuff, and I'd get to ride. And of course I rode quarter horses at the time. And then I went from that to the show horse.
In 1950, she posted an undefeated record in both the 5-gated and 3-gated divisions. When Abercrombie came to Lexington to compete in the Junior League Horse Show, she developed an instant affection for the horse-loving bluegrass region, and she convinced her father to buy land here. Josephine has maintained a presence here ever since. Pin Oak bred a Preakness winner in 1976 with Elocutionist, as well as an English and Irish Group 1 winner in Touching Wood. But Abercrombie has always taken great pride in the accomplishments of her homebreds. most recently through the latest version of Pin-Oak, which she launched in the late 1980s. These include the farm's first Grade 1 winner, Miss the Storm, Eclipse Award-winning turf mare Laugh and Be Merry, and Canadian Horse of the Year Peaks and Valleys, who won the Grade 1 Molson Million. Peaks and Valleys traces back to one of Pin-Oak's foundation mares, Strike a Pose, who was purchased by the farm out of the Keeneland yearling sale in 1967. And that family also produced Broken Vow, a homebred stakes winner who returned to Pin-Oak, where he continues a successful stallion career today. Additionally, Pin-Oak stallion Maria's Mon sired 2 Kentucky Derby winners, Monarchos in 2001 and Super Saver in 2010.
To see him arrive, a baby foal, and then develop into a racehorse, to watch that happen is very exciting. I love to see it.
Abercrombie developed a love of boxing through her relationship with her father as well. And in the 1980s, she became a successful promoter in a male-dominated industry.
I love competition. I love it. I love one-on-one competition. That to me is the most exciting thing that can happen. And I love winning.
One of her protégés, Tony Tucker, fought for the heavyweight title, going the distance with Mike Tyson. Another was Frank Tate, gold medalist in the 1984 Olympics. Abercrombie is also respected for her various philanthropic endeavors. Her parents taught her the importance of giving back to one's community. And here in the Bluegrass, a shining example of that spirit is her founding of the prestigious Lexington School.
My father asked me what would motivate me as far as the countryside was concerned. And I said, education is the most important thing. I think we need to concentrate on that a bit. And my father also felt that it was vital in whatever community you lived in to do the best you could with it.
A Blood Horse magazine article once noted, Abercrombie and the camera have been lifelong friends. The same can be said of her love affair with horses. A rare combination of passion and poise, a phrase that could be attributed to a champion thoroughbred, also appropriately describes Josephine Abercrombie.
I really enjoyed watching that piece myself, and actually didn't know that Mrs. Abercrombie began the Lexington School. That's recognized as one of the best in the entire country. Many supporters of Keeneland, many horse people in the area, their children are educated at the Lexington School. So her legacy, not only there in the community, but also in horse racing, will continue for many, many years to come. It's time to lighten things up a little bit on the show now. It is time for Kurt's Calls from Home. Last week, we introduced you to our track announcer, Kurt Becker, with a little Q&A. And as you've seen over the last few weeks, he also has a very witty sense of humor. Here's a look at Kurt's call from this week.
This is the big showdown that everyone's been waiting for. You've got JB the dog, and you've got Mr. Squirrel up there on the fence. This is known, this event, as the most exciting 5 seconds in sports. You're about to see why. JB and the squirrel facing off. Make it the most exciting 2 seconds.
Kurt, thank you so much. As always, thank you for providing a few laughs to finish up the program today. And to you at home, please continue to send your home videos, because we know Kurt's having a good time giving those calls and having it as part of Keeneland at Home. That will wrap things up for us on this Friday edition. We're not too far off from first post. Don't forget, 1:05 Eastern for the first of 10 races on this Friday. And before we say goodbye, wanted to give a special thanks to our sponsors, to Pin-Oak Farm, and again to our friends at UK HealthCare for sponsoring the show. They are ranked Kentucky's #1 hospital for 5 years in a row. You can learn more at ukhealthcare.com. Don't forget, you can watch the entire card from home on your TV, your phone, or your computer. On television, you can watch on TVG and YouTube. By phone, hopefully you have that Keeneland Race Day app. It's good for all sorts of things, but certainly for watching the races. And on your computer, Keeneland.com, Keeneland Select, and YouTube. And be sure to download that free digital program to help you out as well. As per usual, we are going to play you out with a few musical stylings here. Our friends at the Burl have sent over another talent. Here's our final act of the afternoon. This is Laid Back Country Picker to play us out on Keeneland at Home. We'll see you tomorrow.
ride.